Hello everyone, this video is in continuation to our previous videos where we are discussing about the different phylums of animal kingdom. In last video we had discussed about the examples of reptiles. In this video we'll talk about aves, birds. We'll talk about all the characters, the flight adaptations, the specific characters, the general characters of aves and birds, and in our next video we'll take its example. So starting out with the characters of birds, सबसे पहले as birds are is the phylum wherein the organisms they can fly, they have specific characteristic features which enable them to fly, or you can say they have flight adaptations. So we will discuss that what are the different flight adaptations of birds which enable them to fly. So we'll take them one by one. The first one is their streamlined body. Streamlined body. The body is streamlined. When I say streamlined, that means if you see, so the body is like this. They have a beak. I'm just not going to make the whole thing, but yes, the body is streamlined to just give them, you know, a shape so that they can see through the air, so that they can easily fly. They have that pointed beak so that they can cut through the air and fly. The aeroplane's aerodynamics is based on 100% flight of the birds wala aerodynamics. So it's just, you can say, a copy of how the birds they fly. So first and foremost character is that they have a streamlined body. Then their exoskeleton. They have an endoskeleton also. We'll talk about it, but the exoskeleton has feathers. They have different types of birds, different type of birds have different type of feathers which make their body light and keep it covered with the feathers, which help them. Different type of feathers play different roles during the flight of a bird. So the feathers are attached to the bird's body, provide it an exoskeleton. When I say endoskeleton, now the endoskeleton of the birds, they have bones. The endoskeleton is made of bones, but there is a term for it. The type of bones which are present, they have pneumatic bones. P is silent here. Pneumatic bones are the bones of the birds. And what kind of bones are these? They are hollow bones from inside, that gives, that makes their weight less, so it makes them lightweight so that they can easily fly. So they have pneumatic bones, the endoskeleton. So they have a streamlined body, they have exoskeleton made up of feathers, endoskeleton made up of bones, pneumatic bones. Then they have four limbs modified to wings. Their four limbs, that means these arms kind of structure, they are modified into wings for flight, and these wings also have multiple type of feathers which enables them to fly, and they vary from bird to bird. Their hind limbs are modified for perching. Now when I say perching is, suppose this is a branch, they just sit on this branch. When a bird is sitting on the branch, if you see it, they just clasp the branch like this. So this mechanism is known as perching. This is a locking mechanism. They just lock on the branch, and as and when they fly, they'll just spread their wings first and then start flying. This lock just opens, click opens, and hence the bird can fly. So perching, they can also sleep on the branches by just having those claws on the branches. The process is known as, or the term given is perching. So their hind limbs, they are enabled for the process of perching to take place. So we have discussed their body design, skeleton, endo, exo, forelimbs and hind limbs. There is a special, now if we talk about the glands present, the skin is dry without glands except one gland, and that gland is the preen gland. Now the preen gland, it is present below the tail. Now what is it? Preen gland is a gland which is filled with oil. Fine. The birds, they take that oil from the preen gland and spread that or smear that oil on the wings, which make it impervious for water. As and when you must have seen in rain also, they can fly, but not to a far more distance, but yes, they can fly because that oil does not allow that water to settle on their wings. So this preen gland is filled with oil, which helps in preening the, or you can say smearing the feathers with the help of oil, so that the water, it becomes water resistant, so that the water does not stick to their body and make their body heavy, so that they can't fly. So this is a gland, specific gland present in birds. Otherwise there are no other glands present in them. They have one more feature. Their sternum is keeled or keel shaped. It's known as a keeled sternum. If you see the shape, it's like this. Sternum is the, this is the keeled shape. Sternum is the bone which joins the ribs, the middle bone which joins the rib in vertebrates. In the birds, it is a keel shaped structure. It has this V-shaped, keel shaped structure, so that all the muscles are joined here. The wings wala muscles, they are joined here and enables it to have those wings and fly. So these are certain flight adaptations of the birds, or the characteristic feature of the birds which enable them to fly. You can write both ways. Then we will talk about, here we'll talk about the different systems, and we'll start with digestive system. Digestive system, if I say, in digestive system, we'll discuss about the type of teeth. They don't have teeth, they have beak. They have a beak, no teeth present. Fine. So there is no teeth present, only beak is present for picking up grains and all. They have next system is or next feature would be we'll talk about their body temperature. They are homeothermal. That means warm-blooded. In common language, we call them warm-blooded. So they are warm-blooded. That means we are also warm-blooded. They maintain their body's temperature. They can maintain their body's temperature. That body temperature does not change with outside environment. Talking about the next system, respiratory system. Now they breathe through, very simple, they breathe through lungs, and they have air sacs also present for breathing. So they breathe through air sacs. This is also an adaptive feature. We can mention it here also, that the air sacs are present instead of lungs, so that the body weight becomes light. Talking about the nervous system. Nervous system. Now in the nervous system, we'll talk about the nerves and the sense organs also. So when I say nervous system, they have 12 pair of cranial nerves, which is a significant feature of all the vertebrates. They have 12 pair of cranial nerves. They have, in middle ear, they only have stapes in middle ear. Fine. So that means their sense of hearing is not that sharp, but the sense of vision is very, very, very sharp. So they have eyes, they have double mode of accommodation. Eyes have double accommodation mode. That means they can clearly see their prey from far off distance, and they can easily catch their prey. So they have a very good eyesight, but other sense organs are not that perfectly modified, but yes, eyes are very good. Then they are talking about their reproductive system. Reproductive system. Now in reproductive system, they are oviparous. They lay eggs. They are oviparous, lay eggs, but they lay eggs, but the young ones are of two types. They can be nidifugus and nidicolous. Young ones are of two types. Okay. The young ones can be nidifugus, and I'll write it here. Nidicolous. Now, when I say nidifugus, that means, I'll write the characters here. Nidifugus are the ones which have feathers. As and when they are hatched, they have feathers. They can walk, and they can be on their own. Be on their own. Example, chick. The chick which hatches from hen's egg, it has feathers on it, it can walk, it just starts following the hen. So it is a nidifugus type of young one. Whereas nidicolous are the ones which do not have feathers, or you can say, I'll just write in one line, dependent. They are dependent on parents. Example is sparrow. If you happen to see a chick of sparrow, you will see that it's naked, skinny hota hai thode time mein, then the feathers they start appearing and all. So this is something which is there. After this, we have a significant feature here related to reproductive system. I'll just write it here. Both the ovaries are present in the birds, but one of them is vestigial. Right ovary is vestigial. Ovary as well as oviduct. Both of them, they are vestigial, just to reduce the weight of the bird. But yes, if the left ovary is not working, they start working. So right ovary is generally vestigial, but yes, it will be functional if the left ovary is not working. Then we have the study of birds. I have a few things to write here. I'll just use this space. Okay, so study of birds. Study of birds is known as ornithology. Ornithology, study of birds. Fine. Then we have the study of young ones of the birds, which is known as nidology. Study of young ones. Nidology. Fine. Then is birds are also known as glorified reptiles. Glorified reptiles, because they are said to have evolved from reptiles. The reptiles said to have those wings started appearing on reptiles and they started flying. So they are also known as glorified reptiles, the reptiles which could fly. So these are the flight adaptations and general characteristics, whereas these are all the system specific traits which are only present in the birds. So we have covered all the characteristic features of aves and birds. In our next video, we'll start with the examples of the birds. I'll take 1 or 2 examples of the birds, and then we will start with mammals, the last phylum. So keep watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you.